Hello, my name is Philipp Schmid and I am Technical Lead at Hugging Face. I'm excited to be able to show you and demo you the new Azure Hugging Face Endpoints. Okay, let's get started. In the demo, we are going to create a new Azure Hugging Face endpoint for text classification. Hugging Face endpoints are a managed Azure application powered by Azure Machine Learning. We are currently in the UI where we can create our endpoint. First, we need to select our subscription, then our resource group. Next, we are going to select our region. In this case, we are going to use East US and define an endpoint name. Let's go with distal BERT. As next, we are going to select our model from the Hugging Face hub. For this, we can go to Filter, Text Classification, and then select one of the available models. We are going to use the distal BERT model, which also fits our endpoint name. Copy the model ID and paste it into our model ID input field. Then we are going to select our text classification cast. Okay, as next we are going to define an application name. Let's go with text distal, and then we need to provide a managed resource group name. You can go with Hugging Face distal. Our application managed resource group holds all resources that are required to create our Hugging Face endpoint. After we have done that, we can select our compute. In this case, we are going to use a CPU instance, but you can also go with a GPU instance. The nice part about Hugging Face endpoints is that they deliver autoscaling out of the box, meaning we can select our min instance card and our max instance card. We are going to do this for max with 2, so we are going to be able to scale from 1 to 2 instances, and then we need to provide our threshold. We are going to use requests per minute as our threshold target, and we are going to select 1000. This means that our endpoint will receive requests, and if we have an average over 1000 requests over a period for 5 minutes, the endpoint will automatically scale out. And if the load decreases, the endpoint will also automatically scale in again. Okay, now let's review and create. All our validation has passed. We can scroll down and then see again our provided values. We have our model ID with distal BERT, our task text classification, and the resource name we have provided. We can also see our instance type and the autoscaling configuration. Okay, let's create. Our endpoint will now be created. This will take a few minutes. I will be back when the endpoint or the deployment is complete. Our deployment is complete and we can test our endpoint. Therefore, we go to the resource, to outputs, where we can see our inference URI, our API authentication token, and the playground URL we can use to test our endpoint. Here we have a widget where we can immediately use to run inference and code snippet. Let's test it. The new Hugging Face endpoints are easy to use. And we can see our model predicted the correct sentiment for it. We can also copy the Python snippet and execute it, for example, in a Jupyter notebook. Here, you can also see that our model has predicted our label correctly. I'm Philip, and this was a quick look at the new Azure Hugging Face endpoints. Thank you.